Hello, Uranium friends. We are back with episode 9 of Uranium Talk, talking all things uranium. I am Jungle Funk from the Chart Guys, joined here by the lovely Chris Red Devil. Chris, how are you doing?
Joe, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are
Good.
you?
So am I, buddy. Thanks for asking. Hey, listen, Happy New Year, buddy.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you too. It is New Year's Eve as we are recording this, 5 p.m., and nothing we'd rather be doing than talking about uranium.
Wow, listen, New Year's Eve is amateur hour. You know that. All
Oh,
right,
what?
anyway, buddy, listen, not a lot happened this week, but on the news front, fundamentally. So I'm just going to hit you with these couple of items that do have some sort of significance.
Let's hear it.
All right. So, firstly, the Efficient for the Future bill um, has gotten through Congress. I think it's got to wait for Biden to sign it or whatever, but it's going to a lot more money towards the nuclear fuel cycle and enrichment here on the western side of the world. So it's a pretty, once again, a very bullish fundamental deal for the space in general. So we're going to see how that plays out. It's obviously, does it affect the charts right now? Who knows with the way the broad market's going. So nextly, Italy has kind of announced that they're reconsidering their stance on anti-nuclear. So we'll see how that plays out over the course of the next bunch of months, whatever it is. But
Tide's
slowly the
starting to turn
dominoes
a
are
little bit.
falling.
Yeah,
Every country is just kind of
getting
picking
with
up
the
the ball
picture.
with this whole nuclear thing. So it's good to see. Um, Uranium Insider posted some interesting uh, prices on the fuel cycle in general and the changes. So just as a quick one, and we'll link it for you, but spot conversion is up 150% for 2022. Spot UF6 is up 31%. Spot SWU is up 123%, as well as term SWU, and EUP is up 50%. So good signs, right? It has not transferred over to the raw uranium price action yet. There seems like there's a slight change going on, as we'll talk about U.UN in this video. And then the last thing, which, we'll see how this plays out as well. Namibia has halted Russian uranium exploration in the country there. So we got to see how that plays out. Again, it's just all everybody is trying to get away from the Russian uranium thing. So Namibia is joining. They're kind of they're blaming it on environmental issues with in situ leaching with the water. We'll see how it plays out, but could be possibly more positive for the companies that are already operating in Namibia, such as Bannerman, for example. And that's pretty much the news of the week.
Yeah, for being like a quote quiet week on news, pretty solid developments in terms of the bigger picture bull thesis. So we'll just keep looking for those things to continue rolling on through. Well, let's take a look at some charts then. So let's get the chart up on the screen here. As we talk about every week, keeping close eyes on this URA SPY ratio chart. We're scouting the monthly higher low here in this tightening range, and we're getting signs that it is shaping on up. So we'll go into the 2-day, which was our primary guide as we were coming down. We're saying when we get over this 2-day 12 EMA, that'd be the first sign, and bulls are following through. So this is showing relative strength in the uranium space compared to the S&P 500. And to get this monthly higher low set, we will eventually need a weekly trend change. But when we look at this monthly candle, which is now closed here, all we're going to have to do is pop above that little high, and that will technically set that monthly higher low. So the weekly trend change would give it confidence. But if we, zooming in once more here to the daily, if we get above this high of Tuesday and continue this uptrend after back testing now the daily 12 EMA, getting a strong bounce off there, then that would set that monthly higher low. If we lose this low of Friday, that would be our weekly consolidation, and then we'd look for the weekly trend change there. So most likely scenario is playing out on this ratio chart, and you can see it in the uranium space. We were talking last week about how we're watching some potential shifts in momentum, and they followed through pretty well this week. So we'll kind of just go through these names. We'll start off with the Sprott Fund. Back on the monthly, we know we're looking for a monthly high or low here, and now bulls are set up very well to set that. They're just going to have to break the high of Friday on next week or any time from here, and that monthly high or low would be set. So going back to the 2-day here, we had our 2-day downtrend. When we confirmed the 2-day uptrend, we knew that was the signal that we've got some shifting momentum. And boy did bulls follow through on Friday. We'll just go to the daily and look at that candle, nearly 5% on the day. So bulls are doing what they need to do there, and I'm going to just continue to watch the 2-day timeframes in the space. So bulls will be looking for a 2-day high or low next time we consolidate there. Let's move on through to CCJ. So last week we were watching potential inverse head and shoulders here, and bulls just broke right through resistance. So that is a sign of strength. But as always, they're still going to need a trend change in their favor. So we've got double 2-day inside bars right now. If those break bearish, that would be that 2-day consolidation. And then bulls that are looking for that monthly high or low are going to be playing off of 21.22. So what that could look like is if these break bear, you can make an entry just to keep the math simple. Enter at 22, put a stop at 21, because you want to have a little wiggle room down below support. And if bulls do get that trend change and set this monthly high or low compared to the 2002 level, then you're in a great position for that. So our largest uranium miners over here on the US exchanges will start from strongest to weakest, and UEC continuing to just see a very strong move off of that earnings and their contracting news. And we got a little daily bull flag confirmed, and bulls are maintaining full control here. So something kind of interesting to follow up from last week. We were talking about entry styles and whether or the differences between picking a level and going for that versus using trend changes. And we kind of got a good example here of why using trend changes can be helpful. So we were talking about how the hourly trend is the nested time frame within the daily. So you need your hourly trend change to set your daily high or low. And it gave a very great signal here. So this was the beginning of our daily consolidation. We had our hourly high or low, lower high, and lower low to enter that consolidation. And then very quickly, we had an hourly lower high, higher low, and then higher high. So when we broke above this after hours level here, that was the hourly trend change. We got a daily higher low set, and now that becomes the line in the sand for tight bull control on this move. So that support is 359, and we'll look to see how far bulls can take it. Wouldn't be surprising to see a top eventually up in here, because anything below 450 would be a weekly lower high, and that's the most likely scenario on this bounce. And after the size, bulls will certainly be looking for a weekly higher low.
Yeah, I'll be looking for a daily high or low, some sort of pivot there to make an entry. I'm not really chasing anything now, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely getting a little hot up here. Let's see what kind of percentage we have off of the lows. So 28.48% in just 9 trading days. Very impressive.
Listen, we
So
saw the volume, right?
yep. The
We
volume
talked
ended
about
up
it.
being the clue that
Yeah.
there was some juice coming down the pipeline. So UEC, one of the strongest names over the past couple weeks. Let's go to NXE, and we'll go back to that 2-day time frame for continuity here. And NXE is up through its resistance. So this was a potential inverse head and shoulders. Now that's off the table as we've broken through the left neckline. But as we were saying with CCJ, bulls will still need a 2-day trend change in their favor to be confident in follow through. So bulls will be looking to play off of this 394 support next time we consolidate on this time frame. And we do have our monthly double top resistance up here. Ultimately, bulls will need to get through 485 if they want to shift some bigger picture momentum in their favor by confirming a monthly uptrend of our lower high, double bottom, and then they're still looking for that higher high to get the trend change. So NXE second in relative strength among our major miners, and then
Just a note on NXC. I posted it this week, but I did sell some calls on NXC at that resistance right there.
at this 440 here,
The 440. Yeah,
and this is on your swing
I
position
sold
from
some
down here.
5-hour strikes.
Excellent. So that's just to explain to people what you're doing there. You're kind of just hedging your position out a bit after you've gotten a good move in your favor. And that's correct?
Yeah, we took I grabbed a bunch down at that 390 404 I think was my entry. And
Nice
I
entry.
trimmed into that resistance, and then I just kind of waited to see what the action was, and then once it started going up at that resistance again, I just sold some strikes on that remaining trading position. That's all. And
Excellent.
when I get a good daily swing pivot again, as long as 394 is holding 393, I'm working off of that level for sure. And I will add again and hopefully buy back my calls. We'll see how that plays.
Sounds like a good plan. So yeah, it's a good name to be in. Second strongest of our most liquid miners. And then CCJs are third strongest, and then UUUU is the weakest of the bunch, still below this left neckline. So the inverse head and shoulders is still in play here, and bulls looking for UUUU to be a laggard are going to be playing off of 565, looking for an eventual break of 647. And if that happens, we will be holding our 539 monthly higher low support to remain range bound on this monthly chart. So we were looking out for the shifting in momentum. We are getting that shift in momentum, but bulls will need to follow through with trend changes for us to really believe it. Some things that we are still watching, as they will certainly have implications on the uranium space, is the S&P 500. So we'll go to the 2-week time frame to view this potential inverse head and shoulders of your left shoulder, head, and the question is, can bulls form a right shoulder here to potentially really shift some momentum in the broad markets? And we were watching out after this lower high and lower low with no follow through. Oftentimes, when you see a break in either direction without follow through, it's a clue to maybe look the other direction. So with this bear break without follow through, kind of cautiously looking bullish here, but ultimately bulls are going to need to get up and through 39.1975. And if we zoom into the 12-hour, we've got a nice equilibrium here. High, low, lower high, higher low, lower high, and bulls looking like they're trying to shape up another higher low here. So if this breaks bullish, that will bode well for the uranium space. You'll just have a nice tailwind with the markets moving up as well. So last but not least, just a little check in on XLE. We'll do the 2-week time frame here as well. So potential 2-week bull flag, and zooming in once more to the weekly, we do have that weekly higher low set, and bulls are just going to want to maintain control on this bounce as long as they can. So zooming in once more to the daily, we've got a daily higher low support set at 85.62. And if that's lost, that would be a short-term headwind for the uranium space, because we often see the uranium miners correlate pretty decently with XLE, just their general energy correlation there. So resistance overhead, 88.36, support below, 85.62. If we get through resistance, bulls are doing what they need to do. If we fall through support, bulls gotta defend these lows down here. It wouldn't be a great look to fall back down through support after just getting through resistance. So we'll have to see what we get. That's all I've got. I know Chris is scouting a play on URNM. Chris, you want
Yeah,
to give
so
us the rundown on that?
you there we go. So yeah, I've been talking. We've been talking about this potential inverse head and shoulders here. I'm on the daily right now, and just to give you an idea, well, it's kind of that look. Okay, so it's there, in my opinion. I know that you will say it might be, it might not be, but regardless of that, conceptually it's there. Now, we didn't talk about this last week, but as I was started really looking at this because I was thinking about taking some entries, um, I see a little bit of a daily falling wedge here. So there's a couple of things that are just lining up for me, and this is I am going to be definitely adding taking a trading position. I hold the core in URNM. I'm going to take a trading position this week, depending on action. So we've got this falling wedge that it's kind of making its way out of. We have this inverse head and shoulders that it's kind of working its way out of. We do have this neckline as resistance area, but we also have the 12 EMA, and it's kind of using it as support. So for me, I'm going to be looking to take a half a position here. No matter what, I'm working off this 29.72 low at the moment. So, if it was any closer, I would probably take a full position, but I'm not going to do that because it's too far away from me. I just know that URNM is very whippy and it could get down there and stop hunt me. Who knows? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking a half a position Tuesday or Wednesday. I got to see what the price action is like. If it just runs away from me on Tuesday morning and breaks out of this resistance area, I'm going to be less inclined to take that trade. But I have a clear defined level where I want to work off of, which is 29.72. And my target area for this trade is going to be up here at like 34.30, 34.29. This is where this pivot is. And we also have the 200-day moving average. So at the moment, that's what I'm looking at. Could we have a better shoulder defined here? Yeah. But it's, for me, as I'm a little bit looser than Joe is for sure, it's fine. So for me, I don't want to be too heavy on my risk. So how do I reduce my risk? Well, I'm going to take a half a position size. That's how I'm going to do it. And I'll probably inevitably try to buy something a higher low, fill the other half against this 29.72. But if 29.72 breaks down, I'm out. It's just that simple. I'll just hold my cores and wait for the next setup. But this is what I'm seeing right now.
I think it looks like a good setup. Very similar to what CCJ and UUUU are looking at. A bit more similar to UUUU in the sense that it hasn't broken resistance yet. But I like your strategy of entering a half position to kind of just get some skin in the game, but leave yourself plenty of risk allocated to handle a pullback, because right now you're looking at it on the daily, but if we look at it on the 2-day, we could see the potential where we do see 2-day consolidation pull back down against that 29.72. And that's why you only enter half a position, because if we do just run from here, then you have skin in the game. And if we do pull back, then you're happy you only entered half a position and you add your other half, and your risk is well within your parameters.
Yeah, because this is very typical of URNM, by the way. I mean, look at this. It's anyone who wanted to kind of take this little mini breakout here off of this small resistance area, it wiped you out. It stop hunted everybody right here. And this is, it's the nature of what it does. The other thing that gives me a little bit more confidence is, this is pretty heavy in the ASX names, and they had a good day Friday. And we also have a volume ramp up here. So there's a lot of things that are telling me good place to kind of take a little shot at it. And then, for risk tolerance, I could decide maybe this is my stop. But in my opinion, it's too tight. So I think I could get stopped out there. That's why I'm taking a half a position. So instead of stopping out when it tries to stop hunt me, I'm going to be buying again, because this ultimately is my stop out area.
Sounds like a great plan. And
And
it's, as all of these names are testing monthly support, it's the time to buy. You buy at support, you sell at resistance. And this past few months has been tough in the uranium space because we've been trending down. But we know these charts have their ebbs and flows. They go up, they go down. And as the old adage is, buy low, sell high. Well, we've got nice setups here to give ourselves controlled risk and an opportunity to buy low with the hopes of selling high.
It's a great thing when you have a defined risk, right? So you define your risk through position sizing, you can define it through levels, or you can do a combination of both. You can also define your risk by doing like a buy right strategy. But I'll talk about, I'm going to do my own personal videos on the Red Devil YouTube channel, and I'll probably detail some more options that I'm thinking about doing with this URNM trade. But for us, for purposes of today, Joe, that's all I got, buddy.
That's all I've got. I think this might be our fastest episode. Well, we better wrap it up if we want that to be the case. So, back to back holiday episodes, and we'll be to a bit more of a less festive grind moving forward from here. Maybe we'll do something special for Valentine's Day, but we'll have to see. So that's all I've got this week.
Chris, over and out.
Over and out. Happy New Year, everybody, and
Happy
we
New
will
Year,
see you
uranium
next
friends.
year. Take care, everybody.
See ya.